got a story to tell about some things that I've been through, but I'm healed. Oh, I'm healed.
Tuesday at 7:30. Tuesday at 7:30. Yes. Tuesday at 7:30. Only my millennial and Gen X gonna be excited. Tuesday at 7:30. We're doing right here live on this stage. It's only gonna be your pastor, and here it is. Can I get a drum roll? Yes. Thank you. We're doing a live worship night. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be your pastor and Tank. Y'all. Now listen. Let me tell you what's crazy. Hold on. Listen. In 16 months of marriage, I ain't never seen this woman run across this stage. Yeah. So we doing, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Y'all got to tell all of your friends, all of your family. We're doing a live recording for the gospel version of Turtleneck. It's going to be crazy, y'all. Y'all got to be here. Now, we got to ask y'all to do something special for us. They're doing a live taping of it. This is going to be the official video for it. It's going to be crazy. So they want everybody who comes on Tuesday night to wear turtlenecks. I'm going to turn the air up so you don't sweat in here. I'm going to turn the air up. Amen. But Tank is going to be in the building, and we're going to have an amazing time. We're going to record a live podcast for the Jamal Bryant podcast.
Live.
What's going on, everyone? This is your guy, Demetrius Tollfree, excited to let you all know I'm finally ready to launch my own weekly podcast. You guessed it, Dito Live. Each episode, we will have a sit-down conversation about what's going on in our local community and beyond. But for right now, go and subscribe to my brand new YouTube channel. Simply search D Tollfree at DTOLEFREE. I'm so excited that I can't wait for you to join me live exclusively on Facebook and YouTube for my brand new podcast. Y'all already know what it is. Yes, sir, Doc.
Hey, beautiful people. What's happening, everybody? Good evening. Welcome to Music Monday. Hope y'all are good. Having a beautiful weekend. Hope you've had the opportunity to recap or get some rest, recoup from Resurrection Weekend. It was a long weekend for a lot of people. Some people had multiple services. I saw a post recently where someone did 14 services over the weekend. So it was a pretty long weekend for everybody. So what's up? What's happened? I know you haven't seen me in a little second on a Monday. It's mostly because we were having, I'm always like straight up. So we were having some tech issues, and StreamYard was not allowing me specifically to connect. It was just like this thing that working. So maybe I was in Facebook jail. I've never been in Facebook jail like some of y'all. So we're out, we're back, and we're moving forward, right? So tonight we have a really great show. We're going to have some great conversation with two powerhouses. We're having a conversation with Miss NRICH, a Christian hip hop artist, and Miss Kim CRUSE. You may remember her from The Voice. So we're going to have these conversations. It's going to be great. Let's do me a favor. Can you please like, share, and tag? Like, share, and tag. Share it with somebody let somebody know we're here, what's going on, what's happening. So let's talk about the things that I showed you first. First, shout out. Again, we want to shout out to Freedom Radio for always allowing us to, these ideas I have sometimes. And Demetrius is like, sure, go ahead. So shout out to Freedom Radio. Happy anniversary to us as well. As we're celebrating 15 years in radio. It's been a really cool journey. And so it's super excited about that. Also, you say the things what was the things you shared? So first, shout out to the greatest choir in the universe, not just a choir, but a ministry full of artists and worship leaders and pastors and preachers and teachers and entrepreneurs. That is none other than Kevin Lemons Kevin, we took the and out, but Kevin Lemons Higher Calling, under the leadership of Lady Tiana Lemons. And so over the weekend, we had our Back to Basics event, and that was a short clip from the event. It was absolutely wonderful, and we celebrated Good Friday and the cross and the crucifixion and all of those parts. And so it was absolutely incredible. If you want to see highlights from that event, you can go to Kevin Lemons, and the end is on social media, Kevin Lemons and Higher Calling on any social media platform, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and you can see a lot of highlights and parts from that event. Then there was this really great, there were a lot of events around the country, right? I saw where churches like Wheeler Baptist Church, I believe they're out of Texas, they had their church out, they had church service in a stadium. Incredible. So there were incredible services like around the country, right? Shout out to New Birth. They did an incredible thing. We're going to talk about that in a second. And so there was this big concert in New York with Vincent Bohanna featuring Beverly Crawford, Donnie McClurkin, Yolanda DeBerry, just a whole host of people. And I thought it was so freaking incredible because what I appreciated is a lot of people are frustrated about where the state of the church is and gospel music and things like that. And what I love about what Vincent did is he celebrated, it was James Hall too, he celebrated this era of music that some people feel like is leaving, but I think he's like if I can say this lightly, kind of like our current Hezekiah Walker. Like Hezekiah Walker's still here. He's still doing his thing, but I think he's like the next generation forward. So he keeps the old, he has the new, and he just brings it all together in a really amazing way. And I just thought what he did last night was just simply incredible. For real, for real. So big shout out to Vincent Bohanna and what he's doing. It was like packed. The place was packed full of people. It was super, super duper duper incredible. Amazing night, amazing moment. So y'all go check it out, okay? Then the last thing I showed was something I really thought was really dope. So if you know me, or those who know me know, I am I have followed Pastor Jamal Bryant for a really long time, years, long before New Birth. And I've always respected how he is what I call not scared. How he's just always been ahead of the curve. If someone's doing A, he's already at Z a lot of the times. And I love that he's innovative and he's open to doing and trying different things that most people would not be open to, but in a way that can bring in, that can move and touch people in generations, right? Not in weird stuff, but just in a way that I feel like he's always ahead of the curve. So he announced last night, or they announced yesterday at the church service that they're bringing tanks. So most people don't know, on the R&B side, there was an event called Versus, and Versus, it started really during the pandemic with Timberland, and they was just trying to, bring artists together, say, this song versus this song and this project versus this project. And so Versus has been happening. They've done it for gospel, R&B, hip hop, all this kind of stuff. So they had Versus, first one they've had in a while, with Tank and Tyrese, and it was amazing, right? And most people don't know Tank is a church boy. So we won't stay here long, but I just want to inform you, Tank is a church boy. He grew up playing in church all his life. So that being said, they're bringing Tank to New Birth. It's going to be streaming tomorrow. If you're in Atlanta, you should go. You get to sing Tank for free. And then it's going to be streaming tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think you should watch it. If you call me at 7:30, I'm not going to answer your call. Okay. So, no, I'm kidding, but I think it's amazing, right? Because a lot of times we feel like all those things should be separate, but a lot of people that came from the era, especially particular like 70s, 80s, 40 all the way through the 90s, but particularly focused on like the 90s and the 2000s, they came out of church. They're church kids from 112 to Boys to Men to New Edition. New Edition is, of course, a little bit older, but just all that whole era of music, Brandy, all of these people came out of church. So I think it's really cool that he's doing this. It's going to be good, so you should check it out. Okay. So that being said, we have a guest tonight. Her name is NRICH. I believe she's coming back in. Her name is NRICH. She's a hip hop artist. I want her to introduce herself because I think it's best when people tell you about themselves, right? So I'm going to bring her up and let's have a conversation. Okay. Hello. How are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. You may have to talk just a little bit, but I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us here at Freedom Radio.
And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell the people who you are and what you do.
So I'm Christian hip hop artist NRICH. I rap. Just basically using the gift that God has given me to share with the people. I always found music to be something that was inspirational to me, and being from a musical background is just like what I like to do to encourage others.
Awesome. So let's go back to that. You said being from a musical background. So tell us what does that mean for you? Did you sing? Did you grow up singing in the Sunshine Band? Like what does that mean?
I definitely was a Sunshine Band girl.
That's cool.
But also, my parents are in ministry. I'm also a PK.
You're a PK. You didn't tell me that before.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm a PK.
Oh, that's cool.
On the everything ministry, whatever we needed to do, we did it, which it has shaped me to be who I am today.
Okay.
My father's was a musician when he was younger, and it's just some of the skills and the interest and love that him and my mom both shared, while they were young, and then they just implemented those things within us, because I come from a family of 5 kids. I was the youngest, and we was definitely what I call like the Jackson 5 when we were little. We sing at church and different places, and it's just something that's always stuck with me.
Oh, this is really awesome. So you're PK, you're the youngest. I'm the oldest of 5, and you're the youngest of 5. Wow, how amazing! And so your parents still pastoring?
Yes, they still pastor.
Wow. So do you serve at your church?
I do. I'm actually on the praise and worship team at my church. Well, I'm on the everything ministry, but primarily the praise and worship team.
Of course, you're on the yes. All my PK friends are on the everything ministry. I understand. So let's talk about that for a little bit. How has that journey been for you?
Well, my recent journey, everything's been going smooth. It's been going well. Like I always say, we've all had our Damascus experience.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of everything other than what mom and daddy told you, but then you realize that there was purpose in all the things that they were trying to keep you, focused on, and kind of got reeled back in. And of course, my daddy was like, as I say, get over here.
Right.
And been trying to do my best to be on the streets since.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Pending the era you came from, like, do you mind sharing your age?
Oh, I don't mind.
Okay.
I'm 40.
You're 40. Oh, you look incredible. You look incredible. So okay, you're 40. So that means you kind of came through the era of we don't do rap in church, right? So how did this work with you wanting to? Did you always want to be like a hip hop artist?
So when I ventured out into my young adulthood and that rebellious path of wanting to do what I wanted to do, I started gearing towards hip hop, secular hip hop and rap. But then again, of course, it was like people would tell me, like, it's something about you. You're different, and I was trying so hard to fit in with the world because it was just a gift that God gave me, but just using it for the wrong reasons. And then when I rededicated my life to God and started doing Christian hip hop, a family friend had actually introduced me to Lecrae, his music when he first came out. And I was like, that's a thing? Like, I didn't know that was a thing. So people weren't really talking about it. So well, I guess the beginning of NRICH was I was always writing. I loved writing the music. I'd be in my car freestyling by myself. I
Wow.
entered into a talent show to do one of the songs that I had wrote, and everybody was just like, "Man, like that was different. We haven't really heard, Christian rap," and it kind of just went from there.
Oh wow, this is really cool. And so now here you are
Mhm.
doing hip hop. And
Yeah.
so you came through the era of, in my opinion, some of the greatest hip hop there is. People don't think that because I'm a church girl, so they think I don't know about Lil Kim. But
Oh,
hey,
we know.
hey, you came through some of the greatest era, especially for female rappers. Because we didn't really hear. I think we talked about this on our phone conversation. We didn't really hear. First, Christian hip hop was corny. It
Yeah.
was like, whoa, and you only really saw guys doing it.
Yeah.
I didn't. So from where I'm from, I'm from really the West Coast, right? So I was in Denver. So the guys I saw were like, the Latino. I think he's like Black and Latino,
Uh-huh.
Bone. Like you didn't really see a lot of like Lecrae. He's later. He's new.
Right.
Oh, shout
So
out
that's
to
when
our
I found out.
station manager. That's when you found out. Shout out to our station manager, Demetrius. Hey, boss.
Oh,
So
thank
so we didn't know about Lecrae. He's later, right? But
you.
first of all, it was corny. That's just shout out to my hip hop Christian, but it was kind of lame. If I can say
Yeah.
it like that. It just kind of, and so what we knew growing up in hip hop, 90s was of course Lil Kim, Foxy Brown, MC Like.
Mhm.
Queen Latifah, even though they were a little bit older, they were still giving us these hits, right?
Mhm.
Left Eye, even though she was kind of like in between pop, R&B, and hip hop, but we knew all of these things. We didn't really know
Mhm.
any girls
Right.
that did Christian hip hop. So how has that lane been for you?
Ooh, it's been challenging because, of course, initially it was like that acceptance phase, being a female, and it's like trying to fit in. It's like I hate to say that they could try to keep it amongst the boys, but it seemed like they was keeping it amongst the boys, and it's like, hey, I like to rap too, So it's kind of just, but once you kind of got towards that phase of people knowing who you were and what your message was, and then they start giving you a sense of respect, then it's like, okay, well, come on, sis.
Wow, this is cool. So let's jump forward. Our interview, we're going about 10, 15 minutes, but I want to
Yeah.
ask you how you feel about the shift in music, right? So now, again, I came from the 90s, you came from the 90s. So 90s, you had to wait outside for someone's project, right? Like literally, you had to,
Mhm.
we waiting outside, you went to the music store, and now, here we are with, you can get it right on your phone. And so
Mhm.
we've excelled to that. But now we have these spaces like Suno, we have all these music spaces where someone can put in a prompt.
Uh-huh.
And in my case, it's in my case opinion, it's hurting all industries. It's hurting the film industry,
Yeah.
it's hurting the music industry, the creative spaces, things like that. So how does it make you feel as an artist? Something you've worked really hard for, came through for, experienced, prayed through, you went
Mhm.
through these journeys, and someone can in a couple minutes come up with a prompt and come out with this thing, and then
Mhm.
the songs go hot. Like they get thousands of views and they end up on number one, and it's like that's not even a real person.
Exactly. I got a lot to say about that. First of all, originality is originality. If you don't have it, no matter what AI you use, it doesn't make you original. And like it's just something about actually putting in the work that makes people respect the path. Not saying
Okay.
that the music isn't good, because the music still can be good. It sounds good, but I know me, truthfully, I'm like, okay, like you didn't put in no work. Like I've been up at night, struggling for hours trying to make sure that I felt like I sounded something, that it sounded perfect. Reading
Hmm.
through my Bible, trying to find that right scripture that I felt,
Sure.
God wanted me to put or implement in this song some type of way. So it just takes away from their originality. Like, I mean, if you use it, more power to you. But it's like, where's the legwork?
How
Where's
do
the
you
where?
feel like you keep your originality in this kind of climate?
My originality is that those who follow me, they know my music is about me first and foremost. It's about my testimony, things that I deal with, things that I've been through, things I struggle with, and how I overcame or how I'm trying to overcome.
Mhm.
So that's a little bit different from my message. I don't just pick a song and write something that just rhymes. Although that sounded hot, it sounded good, I'm just going to write that. No, everything that I write is from a personal place. It's from a personal place and it's real, and that's all I know how to do.
This is dope. So why Christian hip hop? Why not secular hip hop? Because gospel music, no, we don't make money over here like the other kids. So why this genre and not still believe in God, still profess God, still serve God, but secular hip hop?
And that's good because it's easy to waver back to say, if I was on this side, I could be doing this and could be doing that. But it's like, if you are a true believer and you believe that God has given you a gift and purpose in your heart to save souls,
wow,
it shouldn't matter if you're reaching just the one, because in the kingdom, that's what matters, the one. And like one of my mottos is if you're not trying to win souls as a Christian artist, what are you doing? So and it took a while for me to get there, because it's easy to get caught up in the flesh and say, oh, well, I know, because me and my sisters, we joke around and we'd be like, I was Natalie Minaj, joking around. Like I really feel like on the secular scene, I could have really, if I would have stayed persistent, I could have blew up. But then again, it's like my mindset is all I would be doing is leading people further away from the kingdom. And
wow.
And that's not what God called me to do. And I'm at peace knowing that, I'm at peace. Literally, if I reach the one, that's okay with me. And any doors that open after that, I will know for sure that was God.
I respect that. Because most people feel like, and this is me personally, I don't think everybody's called to do, gospel or secular gospel or Christian music, right? I just don't. I think there's a certain sacrifice that comes with that. And that's not against, because I think there are plenty of R&B artists who love God.
Yeah.
In real life, right? They really love God. They serve at their local church. That's just not what they were called to do. But I think when you decide you want to do gospel music, or you decide to do Christian music, even if it's Christian contemporary, Christian hip hop, I do think personally there's a certain kind of sacrifice that goes with that you have to kind of be willing to give up, because even in secular, every door is not for you, right?
Right.
But I think this side, there'd be more doors that you'd be like, oh, I can't go over there. Right. So I think it's a harder choice. A lot of people ask me, Yolanda, you don't want to sing R&B? No, I don't have anything against it. I will gladly go see Jodeci. I don't have a problem. I don't think everybody was made to be Fantasia.
Right.
Right. So Fantasia is like I don't think we only get those like one every generation.
Yeah.
Like we get one Aretha every generation. We get one Fantasia every generation. Someone who can kind of split sides, but they're not really splitting sides. It's just like they have the capacity to manage that. Right. But everybody does not have that capacity. So I think it's really cool that you know who you are, and this is what I can do. In the truth, says let's go preach, teach, represent, sis. God is good and always will be. Enrichment from NRICH.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I think it's cool that you want to stay within the confinements of what you've chosen to do. I'm serious. So respect to you today, because most people really, 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 really struggle with it. There's an R&B artist, I won't call his name. I was like, well, which one you want? I'm not judging which one you want, but I mean, which one? You want to be the pastor? You want to be the R&B artist? And again, I'll use Fantasia again. You'd only get, to me, one of those every once in a generation. Someone who literally Fantasia, in my opinion, most of the time she be speaking tongues in between songs. That's just my opinion, what she be doing. But she has the capacity to, and I think the grace to do that. But some people,
the saints gonna get me, but I know I love my Fantasia.
Yeah, but I think she has the grace to do it. But I respect that you're like, that's not where I am.
It's like because I consider everybody has their own level of milk that they give to people. Because I know that there's some things that I wouldn't have gotten. I wouldn't be as far along as I am had I not received a certain level of milk. So there was a foundation, like especially like the Lecrae area and the things that was like related to me. I'm like, oh, I can do this. And it helped me to strengthen my walk and to be like, okay, well, now I know where I fit in. So it's like, you never know how you're reaching people. So once you know, regardless of people, how they may shy away from it, like there's going to be somebody that sees that Fantasia or they go see her and they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to church tomorrow. Like I said, everybody's got their purpose for what God has called them to do. I can't judge that. But it's like, if they feel that's what God purposed in them and I know what God's purposed in me, then that's what I'm going to feed you.
This is great. Tell us about your current song.
My current song, it's called Darkness, which was written and inspired. And I even changed it a little bit going through, I guess, some trying times. Because even in my own life, I know how if you get so far from God, your mind can lead you into thinking anything is right. As long as you feel it's right, you know, it's okay to do. And it's like, like I said, if you don't have God, you'll find yourself doing any and everything. So that's basically the inspiration for that song, and geared towards certain things like violence. Like people are so far from God, it's easy for them to just go and take somebody's life. I've had some gun violence in my own immediate family, and it's like it just shows that when you're away from God, you can do anything. So hang on to Him and try to come from that dark place.
So as we wrap up, I want to ask you, if you were talking to your younger self, your 16 or 18 or even 20-year-old self, what would you say to her?
Girl, you better listen to your mom and daddy. They already know. And you could have already been in the kingdom doing kingdom work sooner.
Wow.
And be at peace and be happy with the walk that you're walking.
This is good. What would you say to a young lady or just a young person who's inspiring? No. What would you say to someone who's in the middle? They're 30. They're feeling like there's nothing, I'm just going to stay at this 9 to 5. And it's like the movie, I always compare it to the movie Sister Act, right? Like if you wake up thinking about music every day, girl, that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say to a person like that in the middle place?
In the middle place, when you're in any place, I would always encourage anybody that you have to surround yourself with people that, for one, are going to encourage you, hold you accountable, and that are in alignment with the direction that you said that you want to go with your life. And that way, if you do that, the things that you desire won't be as difficult or as challenging. If you're hanging around people that are oppose what you believe and oppose, your gifts, they don't really wholeheartedly support you that way. Like, your circle will make or break you. And my thing would be, make sure that you choose your surroundings wisely. And once you say that you have a desire to do something, wholeheartedly commit to doing it. Because I've been that middle person, procrastinating. People like, NRICH, where you gonna put something out? It's been a while, and I'm just like, I'm gonna get to it. It's because I was in a season of solitude, stagnation, and just kind of, if anything, sticking to myself, because I didn't want to have anybody holding me accountable or getting me, because I was kind of enjoying being stuck where I was at. But then people started reaching out to me, and then I realized that me being stagnant is literally hindering other people, because I had no idea the influence that I was having on their lives. I had no idea that they was really listening wholeheartedly to the things that I was saying. And then that gave me the motivation to say, I could keep somebody from I could be making somebody be outside of the will of God because I'm stuck. So just know that I seen a post the other day, it said, keep striving and be who you are, because somebody's dependent on who you become.
And these facts. And these facts. This has been a wonderful conversation.
Yes,
I want to have you back again, actually, because I think there's more conversation that needs to be talked about for women who are past the market age, past the age of what the industry feels like is marketable. I didn't know that, for example, American Idol stops. You can't audition after you're 29.
What? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And so Keela Richardson, she's a current contestant on Sunday Best. And I saw something. I mean, I'm sorry. She was originally on Sunday Best. She's on American Idol. And I saw where it was like, this is her last chance because she's 29. I thought, oh, wow. So what happens for the people that are 31
That's
and
just a
they're
baby.
talented and you know what I mean? So I would love to talk to you about that because I think that's a place where a lot of people
Mhm.
are, because
Yeah,
people have had to work through challenges, they've had to work through loss,
yeah.
and things of that nature in the industry. No matter the genre, can be tricky in
Mhm.
that way. Gospel
Yeah.
lets you be a little bit older. A lot of times you can go longer, you can
Mhm.
come in a little bit older, but the industry can definitely be tricky in that way. So
Yeah.
I would love to have you back. Can you tell us how people can reach you and how they can find your project?
Oh, I sure can. So, of course, my music, or all my music that I've released, is available on all digital platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music. Even in there, if you go to Facebook, you do your post and find music is there too.
Okay.
Um, and of course, my artist name is NRICH, which is NRICH, which derives from the word enrich because I want to enrich people's lives with the gift that God gave.
Oh, I love that.
Put my initial in the front, and that's literally God renamed me. And I was like, that's crafty, God. Okay. But
That's great.
Enrich. So on my social medias, my Instagram is Enrich, NRICH for you. My Facebook is Enrich Raps for God. My YouTube is at Enrich underscore official. And my TikTok is at Enrich official.
Well, please follow her, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I'll say this again. Sometimes people don't get the support they need because we say it doesn't. We don't know about it. Well, now you know. And you know about Miss
Mhm.
Enrich, and you know that her music is here, and it's not about age. So, if you absolutely love, if you're open, let's say that, if you're open, you may
Mhm.
say, Yolanda, I don't listen to hip hop, but you listen to other stuff. Okay, so if you're open, then I encourage you to be open to this artist. Again, Enrich. You can find her on all social media platforms. You can find
Thank
her music as the places she said. And this is going to be great. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Shout out to Gabriel Ties, who's in the comments,
Yes,
and
thanks,
he
Gabe.
connected. He connects us with everybody as he's helping us expand our reach. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. You have any
Yeah.
final words?
I'm sorry. Oh, well, first of all, thank y'all for having me here on Freedom Radio. I really appreciate the opportunity to come and share my gift and a little bit about.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for that. I really appreciate that. And I cannot not go without saying thank you to all my friends and family that are in the comment section. I appreciate y'all because I know it's real. And for you for being such an excellent host, I appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I want to see us thrive. So I'm
Yeah,
always down for the call.
absolutely. We
Thank you
all
so much.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. See you.
And thank you. Take care. Be blessed.
Bye. All right, y'all. So listen, shout out to our social media manager, Mr. Gabriel Tyus. Shout out to please let's pause for the call. So first, thank you so much for Enrich for hanging out with us here on Freedom Radio on Music Mondays, where we feature new artists. We have conversations about music, what's happening, what's going on, all those kind of things. Shout out to Gabriel Tice, who is our media manager, social media manager, helping us to grow and expand. Freedom is 15 years old, and sometimes you need a boost. And he also has a company. It's called Keep Pushing Promotions, and that's exactly what he does. I always say this about Gabe. I believe that Gabe desires to help people move further. So if you need help pushing your event, let me tell you this: you don't. If you need help, you do need help, right? There are 8 billion people in the world, and they don't all know who you are. So you should always use multiple outlets to spread the message of what you're doing. And Keep Pushing Promotions is a great place. All right. Thank you, Miss Natalie. Oh, she told me her real name on the side. But thank you, Miss Enrich. And we appreciate you for hanging out with us. So we have another, again, once you share, you know what you do, you like, share, and tag. You see me looking down because I want to make sure this information gets to the right place. So we have another, thanks to Gabe, we have another guest with us tonight. This is really cool because I remember when she first came into this, at least when I first saw her, I was like, oh my God, this lady can sing. And she has this like deep, I don't know. When you're a singer, you feel things differently, I think, than most people. And so, when you're a singer, you hear things a little bit different. So to me, she probably can sing soprano, but she don't want to. But she has this like deep, sultry, scratchy kind of thing going on. I want her to tell you who she is. When you see her face, you might be like, oh, lady. Yep, that lady. So I'm gonna bring her up without further ado so we can have this conversation. All right. Shout out to our boss, Demetrius Toll Free. Thank you, sir. Glad we're doing a great job. So shout out to her. She's here. Hi, Miss Kim CRUSE.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well, lady. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me good?
I can hear you good.
All right, good. There we go.
Well, let's have this conversation, lady. First, my name is Yolanda. It is such an honor and a pleasure to meet you. I mean, of course, all my friends are like, you're doing what? So shout out to Gabe. Thank you so much. He always looks out for me and always looks out for us. So I appreciate that. So, well, tell the people who you are.
Okay, so I'm Kim CRUSE. I'm a singer from a small country town in Texas. Grew up in the church. My dad is a pastor, so I know him. and and yeah, so I'm right now I am an R&B soul artist.
So now this is interesting. I didn't do this on purpose. I want everybody to know I did not try to, I know y'all were all hemmed up for Resurrection Sunday. So I didn't try to have you hemmed up again. I did not know both of these girls were PKs. Okay. So I did not know that. I was not aware. So I'm not trying to I know y'all tired because he did get up. So I know y'all tired. Listen, I was tore up all day. Like I didn't know that 20 years ago. Okay,
right.
So tell us more about, so you were on, most people know you from, or some people may know you from The Voice.
Mm-hmm.
Is this correct? And you were on The Voice. What season were you there?
So I was on season 22, which was 2022, 2023. I was on that season. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I like this. I like this energy already. So tell us, how far did you actually go in the said or TV competition?
So I went all the way to the semifinals. I made top 8. I was the only African-American woman in top 16 for live shows and things like that. So yeah, I made it all the way to top 8. So one more week, I would have been in the finale. If I would have made that last week, that would have been finale week.
I have questions. You can always say these questions you prefer not to answer, okay?
Okay.
So I find national singing competitions interesting. And so, I won't tell what I not supposed to know, but I find them interesting. So I'm asking a question. You could tell me, because I like to just jump in. Okay.
Okay.
I won't talk about the PK stuff and all that, but I would like to ask, are you okay that you didn't make it all the way through?
Actually, quite happy. I was happy that I did not make it to the finale, or I didn't win, because, and I tell people this all the time too, especially when I first got off the show, people would see me out and almost be in literal tears. Like, I'm so sorry. I that you didn't win and da 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 da. And I'm like, honestly, the win is in the loss.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much freedom that I have from the loss. And if you really look at it, me and the winner are doing the same thing. So,
Yep,
I'm just free. I'm free.
You're free. I understand. We can't tell it.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, because sometimes people, I think it's interesting because sometimes people don't understand what you just said. And sometimes there's freedom in losing. It sounds kind of weird, but sometimes the things that are held to said winner, it holds you sometimes in spaces. This is not about The Voice or anything like that, just in a totality of some of those spaces. And I'm not against those spaces. Some of my friends are in those spaces, right? But sometimes you don't get what you were supposed to get.
Yeah.
Some spaces, not speaking to The Voice, whatever was said is not always honored. And then sometimes, again, it holds you in a space and then you're just held. Right?
Yeah.
And you can't do anything. So I think it's beautiful that you have that view or perspective regarding that. And then you don't feel, even if you felt some kind of way, you may not tell us, but you don't feel like they did me wrong, because everybody has a story and they're like, oh, they did me so
Yeah.
wrong and da da da. But I think I used to tell my mom, she used to, when she was in there, she said, I'm telling you, Londa, you need to go on that over there. It was the voice, or it was this. And I said, Mom, but I don't want to win. And she just was like, why would you? I said, because I don't know. I just I never knew. I said, I don't think I want to win. I just think I need the visibility.
Yeah,
but I don't think I
for
want to
sure.
win.
And that's how I was. I was like, you know what? This is a nationally televised weekly resume.
There you go.
Like
There
week
you
to
go.
week, they're getting to see a different side of me, and yeah, that was my goal.
This is dope. So let's go back. Let's talk about your PK. So you
Yes,
like
I am.
Miss Natalie here, Miss NRICH, who she says she's on the everything committee.
Ooh. I remember those days. Yeah, so I'm a PK. My dad has been pastoring the same church since I was 2 years old. So that
Wow.
is 32 years ago. Um, uh, so yes, he's been pastoring the same church. And I'm just like her. I was on the everything committee. I was the soprano, the alto, the tenor. I was the usher taking up offering. I was praise dancing. Any song my daddy wanted me to sing, I had to sing. 3 o'clock programs, I was there. Choir rehearsals, musicals, all of that stuff. I was there. That was literally all we did. And if we weren't doing it at our church, we were doing it at nursing homes throughout the community. So yeah.
Because I'm a very spontaneous type of person. Interviewer, I usually don't put things on paper because I feel like as people talk, things come. Right. So I'm not a PK, but I am. My granddaddy was a pastor. And I feel like even though my parents are not leaders in that direction, I can understand that everything. I think I tried to be an usher. I don't think that was my ministry.
I was too goofy.
But I understand, right? You serving everything. And I think there's a beauty in that, though, to be honest, because I think when you become an artist, you're able to function in a lot of areas that I think today's artistry don't understand. So me personally, I think when you grow up in church and I keep saying this, one of the beautiful things about growing up singing in the choir is it teaches you all of these skills that you don't realize that you're gaining. So you're learning partnership, right? Because you have to sing in a section with other people. You're learning collaboration, teamwork. You're really learning to do a lot of things at one time, right? And positioning and timing. And I don't think some of us realize we were actually receiving early artist development as kids. I know I don't see you like, oh,
you're right.
Like when I think about it, I don't have a problem. I could sing, this comes from singing quartet, though. You can sing the same thing for 20 minutes. And people are like, how do you do that? Well, I was saying quartet as a kid is no big deal. Or why do you know the other people's note? Because I had to sing the other people's note before. So I think it teaches these principles that today there's this meme or this reel floating around about Donna Lawrence talking about how the choir taught all these things and that artists today don't have those kind of skills. They learn a bit slower. They don't have that thing. Like, let's say the Clark sisters, right? Like we get them because of their mother. And even though today that I don't know if that kind of system would necessarily work in today's society, but she grilled them and pushed them in this space to become like this. So with that, do you feel like growing up in church helped you to evolve into artists? I feel that for myself, but you may not feel the same. Do you feel like it helped you in any way, or do you feel like it hurt you?
I think it helped me in some ways, and I do feel like it did cause me to run into a few hiccups. I think it helped because especially being a PK on top of just being in the church, it's like you're under a microscope. And it's like you're not only responsible for you
Yes.
and your name as an individual, but just your father's name, your mom's name, like your
Yes.
brother's, like it's like you're a unit, and what you do affects so many other people besides yourself. So I think early on it really taught me like how to be integral. And one thing my daddy would always tell me, you always gotta remember somebody is always watching. And so definitely in that way, I also feel like it did help me learn how to just go into situations with more than just the gift, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
just being able to go in a situation and just know who I am because of whose I am versus someone, and this is no slight to anybody who wasn't raised in church, but it's just you just feel like you have a different type of covering
You do.
when you've come from that. Now, one way I do feel like it may have been a hindrance was just how green I was. I was
Mm-hmm.
very green, especially my hometown is the population is like 2,500. And so the city where my dad's church is even smaller. Population maybe 500. So
Wow.
yeah, so like I'm coming from that to this. And it's just, I always used to hear growing up the country people would call people from the city slickers and all that talking slick. And I just never understood and really knew what that was until I got in
Mm-hmm.
it. And so I kind of had to maneuver my way through that and really just make people understand and not only like be attracted to what they see or what they feel may come from a connection with me, but also really respect what I do and the gift.
Understand. I respect it. I think it's not talked about enough how um particularly women maneuver through
Mm-hmm.
the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never said this a lot, and how green you can be.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is my truth. I was so green, and people be like, "Oh, Yolanda, no, maybe that's not what." And you don't, and you just don't know. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know that these things happen like this. And so I love that even the perspective you have about the voice, because I think sometimes even in those areas when you're green, you don't recognize that this is happening like this, or this is happening
Yeah.
like this, and how you have to maneuver no matter the genre. I keep saying this all the time. It doesn't matter what the genre is. You have to know how to maneuver. Even in gospel, you have to know how to maneuver, because if you don't, you will get bit, and you can get
Mm-hmm.
bit bad, right? And so sometimes, pending the genre, the the bit gets hurt, the bit gets hidden. It's like, no, don't tell anybody I did that to you, because you're not supposed to tell anybody. And it can be, yeah, I'm not gonna get in trouble, but it can be a lot to process through. So I think it's cool that you're maneuvering through that way. So tell us, you are like this gospel sultry soul singer mix. I think when the first time I heard you, I was just like, good Lord. This dark, not dark bad, but like this smoky, dark. Like, I think you could sing soprano if you wanted to, but you want to be bothered, which I understand. So it's like, how did that come about? Or was your voice always like that? Or did it change over time?
So growing up, I always tell people we listened to two things. That was Al Green and that was quartet music. So I grew up listening to male singers before I listened to female singers,
Yeah, yeah,
honestly.
me too.
And
Mhm.
I really loved everything about Al Green because even with Al Green, who's my favorite singer, that's my dad's favorite singer too, but Al just had a unique voice. It was so unique. And even just like the way he sang songs or the instrumentation used in his songs or
Mhm.
any songs during that era, I really feel like those helped cultivate my sound today. Then I grew to find out about people like Nina Simone and Etta James, and growing up in church, all the mothers had that deep, husky belt. So growing up, I had that. Fun fact, I also did have classical training from the time I was in eighth grade.
Really?
Yes. So I was the first soprano. And then I ended up developing polyps while I was in college. So that completely altered my
Wow.
sound. So that's where the rasp and everything came from, because for the longest I still tried to sing in that register, but I didn't really have it like that. So I had to figure out how to then make it work for me. So my strength used to be belting, and so I had to learn how to phrase and tell a story in other ways when I lost it.
So let's go back to that. Paul,
Mhm.
how did you recover? I have a really close friend. Her name is Olivia. We've been friends since we were 12. I'm always so proud of that.
Oh.
But we've been friends since we were 12, right? And so growing up, she had this very almost magical, in my opinion, very just this mystique kind of thing about her voice. When she went to college,
Mhm.
she experienced something similar, and her voice, just her voice completely shifted. So, for her, I know it was like a really hard transition. How was your transition through that? Like, how did you make it through that period? Because it wasn't something you could necessarily control, right? And so,
Yes.
how did you get through that process?
So at first it made me really, really sad, because I mean, on a Sunday I was singing it like 3 to 4 services. And so what I would find was, by Monday I couldn't
Yep.
talk,
Yep.
and it
Yep.
got to the point to where I started like tasting blood. And so I was like, oh no, this is bad. And I went to an ENT, and I saw the polyps, and they put me on vocal rest, and then I had to go through see a speech pathologist for like 6 weeks. But he never wanted to perform the surgery because he had never done the surgery on a singer. So at that point I never even entertained or did research on finding any other doctor, because by that time I started posting videos on social media, and people love the texture. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna stick with it. Like, I'm gonna take care of it as best as I can, and just stick with it.
So, how are you doing today?
Good. Especially now that I've grown a bit, because I've dealt with this for, I'd say, probably at least 10 years. So I'm more comfortable and confident with my voice. I know what not to do. I know if I have big things coming up, I need to take my butt to bed.
Yep.
I
Yep.
drink a lot of water. And yeah, I know what to do to kind of help preserve and just make sure I'm in good voice.
Do you feel like this happens to now? I know where you are today is not necessarily gospel. I know you're not away from it, but you're more the soul singer, right? But do you feel like this happens most often to gospel artists? Because we're not sometimes growing up, we're trained, but we're not trained, if that makes sense. We're not
Hmm.
trained necessarily how to properly use our voice. And sometimes when voice teachers or people meet us, they're like, oh, gospel artists, they saying wrong. But I think it's not knowing how to train that particular style of voice, right? Do you feel like, do you agree with that? Do you think that that happens most often there?
100% agree, because that's exactly what happened with me. My voice teacher, she would always tell me, she actually did not want me to sing in church choirs. And I'm like, oh yeah, right. You can't stop me from singing in church. I've been going to church. But
Mhm.
she said, it's not you singing at these services, it's how you're singing. She was like,
Out.
hard singing is literally shredding your vocal cords. And I learned the hard way. I learned
Wow.
the hard way. So I do believe that just not knowing, like you say, how to properly squall or belt can
Mm-hmm.
definitely hinder you. I wish I wish more vocalists would have at least an ENT in their corner.
Yes, ma'am, and I agree with that.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it
I
would
agree
help
with you.
tremendously.
It would help. I remember recently, maybe like in the last year, I told my doctor, he saw I kept coughing, and like, he said, "Well, it's okay." I said, "No, I want to go to ENT." He said, "I don't think it's necessary." I said, "I want to sing till I'm 100. It's necessary. So
Hmm.
you can go ahead and just give me the." He was like, "Yolanda, I hear you, but I don't want to. We've heard the Donnie McClurkin stories. I talk gospel out because that's
Hmm.
what I mean, but we've heard even the Tank stories, right? We just heard these stories, and I don't think sometimes you have to repeat history. So
Yeah.
let me go ahead and go in the men's like, I mean, really, you're clear as a bell. Good. But we wouldn't have known that had I not come. So I agree with you. I think more singers, no matter the genre, you need to have an ENT in your corner. You need to be more cautious of your voice. A lot of times we eat bad. We and it's hard. People think no, it's well, when you're at the club and or you're at the church house and they feed you the wings and the mother back there with the big hand and all these things. It's a matter of just really being cognizant and taking care of your instrument, right? It's a real thing.
Yeah.
So this is like cool. So tell us more about this journey you've been on with Sultry and soul and how this has been for you. Because yeah, you definitely like came on the internet and it was like, who's this girl? And how has this journey been for you?
So it's been interesting, and it's also been very fulfilling. Because like I say, I did start off singing in my dad's church, and I actually started off. I thought I wanted to be a gospel singer.
Really?
So yes. So I sang praise and worship at a church in Houston. So I was a worship leader, and I had me a little manager, and I used to, go to some churches and sing for my little soda water money. And
Soda water.
and I just remember I started feeling so pressured to, and I think it was all in my head, but when you go to these services and you hear these people and they're just like belting and squalling and just
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
letting it rip, and then you are this person that's really just, you know jazzy and like a little neo vibe. I did get a little discouraged, and I started feeling like, okay, well, in order to do that, I have to sound like I have to do that, and that's not me. And so
Mm.
I remember, I was before this, I was a Head Start teacher, and I was on my lunch break sneaking to get some cookies from McDonald's, and I had posted a video from rehearsal, and I was singing Jesus by Leandria. And by nap time, that video had gone viral, and people were
Wow.
just blowing up my phone, and I didn't know what was going on. And I remember I was sitting at nap time the next day, and so this guy messaged me, and he was like, "My uncle wants to get you in the studio," and I'm like, "Who is your uncle?" And he was like, "My uncle John," and I was like, "Who is John?" And so he was like, "John P. Key." And I was
That's
like, "All right, you're right. Well, if that's really your uncle, this is my number. Tell him to call." I'm not thinking much of it, but literally within the next probably 10, 15 minutes, I get a FaceTime, and it's Pastor Key. And he gets me in the studio, and then he asks me to go on tour with him. And what really kind of made me okay with saying, okay, like, even though I have this gospel background, I can still do that, but I can also go over here too, is because I saw the love and the respect that Pastor Key also had for people other than
yeah.
just gospel singers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just like the level of appreciation he had for them, and even just the ear to still be creative with these people and make magic. And so yeah, that's kind of how the journey started with me just boldly saying, okay, well, I'm just gonna, go to R&B. And I think like what made me say, okay, Kim, like this is good, was I would just remember being out and just the stories that people would come to me with, like the stories of, I just got out of a bad breakup and I didn't even want to come out tonight. And my friend made me come out. And when you started singing Lose to Win, like it just made me happy. And I felt like, I just felt something and I'm okay. Just these stories that I kept getting. And it's like, you know what? There is a such thing as, the ministry within the four walls, but who's ministering to these people out here too?
That's good. I love that.
Like who's walking into these spaces? Because the same way people come into church and they say, "Oh, I had a hard week. I'm burdened down. My heart just got broken. I just got
Yeah.
bad news. I need to go to church." You also have people that say, "I had a bad week. It's Friday. It's payday. I'm going out."
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
they're also looking for some type of relief. And so you just never know when you're going to be the billboard of relief.
Oh,
And then
that's
it all
good.
leads them back to the person who gives you your relief, which is God. So
This is good. I'm gonna ask you a tough question. So, how have your parents or your family? Because sometimes this breaks up families, right?
mhm.
We've heard the story 100 times. We've seen it in movies. We've seen the real life, and it's just like I left, and How is this? If that's okay to ask, how is this? I don't want to say disconnection, but how is this journey been for you with that? Because sometimes again, it just doesn't. And I'm not saying it did or didn't, but sometimes they're like, "Nah, if you can't sing here, you don't sing anywhere."
Yeah. My parents have always been supportive,
That's very cool.
especially as I progressed. Like I remember I left college second semester midway. And so my parents were like, okay, well, what's your backup plan? And I'm like, I want to sing. And they were like, you want to sing? Like, okay, Kim, you got to do something. And so I never gave up. And so over time, they began to witness what would happen from me not giving up. And so the more that they saw, the more at ease they became. And
Mm.
so yeah, my parents are my biggest supporters. When I tell you, I think my parents have a Kim Cruise shirt for every day of the week. Like
Oh,
they are just like my biggest supporters. I love my parents. My family supports me. My church family, they support me. Even the church where I'm currently on staff, like they support me. I've never ran into any
so
issues.
wait, pause.
Mhm.
So you said currently on staff. So I love this. Now this is real because again, I have friends that do both. I have friends that do both. I have friends that do R&B only, friends that do gospel only. So how has that been to do soul music and be on staff? And what does it say when you're on staff? You're still worship leading? Are you just really?
Mhm.
Oh, this is good.
Yes.
So
And
how is that been?
actually, I was a minister of music before this. I resigned at the end of 2024. So I was doing that every Sunday and rehearsals on Thursday. So I was wherever I was catching red eyes or I was flying back the morning of to make sure I was there. But um it's I don't think it's tough. And I only say I feel like it's not tough because it's what helps keep me grounded too. And like another thing my parents used to always tell me, and even like the elders in the church, it's like never forget where you came from.
Absolutely.
And when I was younger, I thought that meant like, girl, don't forget you from Woodville, Texas, baby, you country. But like the older I got, I understood that it meant like, no, you came from a background of God. And never forget that. So no matter how far out you venture or you go, like you always have to make sure you bring it right back to him. And so yeah, like because of that, it makes it easy. Now I might have to catch me a little nap in between services. But we're gonna get it done for the Lord.
This is really because I just know people who that doesn't mean they're you, but like you hear the stories, you saw her in such and such last night. It's like, well, some people, like I was speaking with Miss NRICH, some people have the grace. Like to me, Leandria, she can sing anything she wants. She wants to sing country tomorrow. I mean, girl, sing anything she wants.
She can do it.
Fantasia just has that grace. I think she speaks in tongues between songs because she just can't help it. Right. So I think she just has that grace on her. So I think this is cool. See, I'm a different kind of person. I think it's because I don't think everybody's called to sing gospel music, number one. I really, really don't. I think there's a certain sacrifice, like I said to her, that you have to yield to that everybody don't want. And even with R&B, I think there's something that things you have to be willing to touch on and be comfortable with talking about. Everybody's not going to be a Jill. Everybody's not going to be a Mary J, right? So I just think this is really cool that you have found or finding your middle ground. I just think this is awesome. Wow. Wow. So what projects are you working on?
So I recently released my first full album, which is Mixed Emotions. So right now I am in the process of getting back in the studio, working on new music. I'm really excited about this next go round because I'm going back to, I call it EP Kim. Like EP Kim, I was really in my Al Green and like if Al Green and Chrisette Michelle had a baby. I was in that, just like with instrumentation and just everything. So I'm really excited about getting back to that and just being able to sing songs how I feel them. So yeah, working on new music and yeah, that's what we're doing right now.
So I'm actually saying question I asked NRICH, and then I want to play a game because I can play this game with
Okay.
you. So the music industry, how old did you say you're 32? Did you say you were? Okay. So I'm a 90s kid, right? Like, thank God for good genes. So I don't look 46, but thank you.
At all.
Thank you so much. I praise God for the good genes that my grandma gave me. So I grew up in the 90s, right? Where you had to buy music from the store, wait outside or X, Y, and Z things. And so then we came through all these eras of how people were able to have access. And now people have access 10 billion ways, right? Not only that, but now we have things like Suno. Now I think this matters a little bit more, I think, for a person like you are, because I feel some kind of way about it. That's just my truth. I ain't scared of nobody. I feel some kind of way about it. I think it's a bit unfair for people like you and myself, others who have been singing all their lives. They've experienced all the ups and the downs. They've been disappointed. They've been told it was going to happen. It didn't. We go through all these things, and someone can put in a prompt, and here you go. And I saw something the other day, not to focus on gospel, but I saw something the other day. It was like, this is number one, and I was like, but you're not even real. How did you make? How does this current space of the music industry make you feel?
When it first came about, kind of jaded, because it's like, so basically all of this I've put in and making sure, taking pride in my unique sound, and now child, you can just put in a prompt and get me mixed with Beyonce. Like what?
Yeah.
But I had to really realize that, like you say, like, number one, but you're not even a real person. So, you don't necessarily have an audience that's really going to stick with you because they'll never see you.
Oh, that's
and so
you should write that down. You got a pen nearby you.
You in the comments, type this down for me.
Yeah, I think that is a powerful thought. Because they won't. And so when you just said that, you just encouraged me, actually. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, this is But then I saw thousands of people standing outside to see New Edition. No shade, New Edition. We love you. Sing the same songs they've been singing for 25 plus years. And people were standing around the block. So I agree with that. Like they're like people can't necessarily, because when it's time for you to perform, unless you're gonna do a hologram, how are you gonna perform the music?
Right. Like you'll never even see that person cry. You will never know the story
That's
behind the song. You may not even really get the real emotion. It's because it's not a real person. So yeah, that's what I find comfort in. Like AI can do all of this, that, and the third, but at the end of the day, I'm real. We are real.
Oh, this is good. I appreciate you. Just encourage me. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Yeah, because sometimes it's discouraging. I was listening, so I was like, dang, there's some song that keeps playing everywhere. I was like, oh, you're not even real.
yes. Not
Hey,
even real.
Not even real. So I want to play this game because I don't get to play
Okay.
it a lot. It's called Word Association. First I want to shout out to, I'm gonna say his name, Terrell. Was it Tyrell?
Terrell.
Terrell, shout out to him. We love him. And so a lot of people also discovered you because you were on his show. And so you played this game before. I love this game. We can play a word situation. And we can play it together. You can play it by yourself. In the sense of, I give you all the words. Or you can give me a word. Whatever you want to do. So here's a word. Red. I think it seems to be like red a little bit. So red, R-E-D.
R-E-D. That's so childish if I do that, because that's pre-K. But it's only because I can't think of nothing else right now.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus loved the little children, all the children of the world. Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in His sight. Jesus loved the little children of the world. I made it.
Oh, that was so good to me. Oh, you have to be a church kid to understand to pull the red out from the song. That's so good to me. That made I thought you were gonna pull out Johnny Gill. Like I truly was hoping Johnny Gill.
I drew a blank. It was fight or flight. It was fight or flight.
Wait. Oh, I just was not prepared for that. Okay. I was not prepared. That was just really, really good. Okay. So that word is easy. Company. That was a word I said I wanted to give you. Company.
Company. Ooh, company.
It can be any genre. It can be TV themes. It can be anything.
Company. I'm not giving good songs because this is all like, this is from the Parkers. And this was a theme song. What was that guy's name? It's time for Gary and company. It's time for Gary. Cannot think right now. What is company? And I know it's songs calling the Lord a company keeper. It's songs where girls be like, you always
No,
got
I'll take
company.
I'll take the
And I
Gary
can't think
song. Where are you pulling these songs from?
I'm telling you, it'd be fire. It's like, let me tell you something. This is a fun fact. So a lot of people don't even know. Me and Terrell recorded a second episode, and we had to do so many retakes because I was pulling songs from all over the place, and I kept getting everything right. He literally made me switch to doing a spelling bee. Like,
Wow.
it was that crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I just be pulling them
From anywhere. Okay, let me try something easier. Light. L-I-G-H-T.
Light, walk in the light, beautiful light. Come where the dewdrop of mercy shine bright, shine all around us by day and by night. Jesus, the light of the world.
Girl, let me just tell you,
Okay,
the
that was
temperature
one.
is what blesses my heart. Okay, so you don't have to be armed. You don't have to be gospel.
Okay.
Um. Oh, maybe that's a little too R&B for saints. Okay, I was gonna say.
You was gonna say baby?
No, we can do baby.
No.
Baby's not too bad. We can do baby.
Baby, I have a song with baby in it. Baby, baby. Um, baby, I apologize for all the things that I've done in my life. See, I know that I've been a fool for far too long, girl. What's that? I'm going crazy, 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 just thinking about you lately. That song got
This is
baby in it.
good. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you one more question. Now you can give me a word because I always
Okay.
You can give me a
Um,
word if you want.
your word is sometimes.
S- Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Sometimes you. I do not sing soprano ministry music. Have to speak
What?
victory during the test. No matter how you feel, speak the word, you can be healed. Speak over yourself, encourage yourself in the Lord. Oh. But I always say that nobody can sing the song like her. I just think it's one of those songs that, just me personally, it's just me. It's not to say people
For
cannot
you.
sing. It's just one of those songs that it was just made for her. It was just made for Miss Sherry Moffitt. Down low, you just did that for her. It's not hard. It's just it doesn't
It's
always
just it's the
land.
way she it's the way she put her on it. It's
Yes,
how she yeah.
yes. It's just one of those things you just don't learn before. So this is my
Yeah.
last
I
one.
love that song
Okay,
though.
this is my last question. So to you,
Okay.
um, first, who is your favorite? Because you said grew up quartet. So I grew up through all the genres, like choir, quartet with my family, choir again, praise and worship, back to the choir again. Where I sing the greatest choir in the universe, I sing with Kevin and Sarah Collin. So
Ah,
yes, absolutely. I'm gonna let me head to the end of my life until I'm 100. Until she put me
love
out. Please
it.
don't put me out your choir, lady. Like I don't.
Don't put out.
So I think that what I did not realize growing up singing quartet with my family, I sang with my mom, my aunties, and uncle, and all of that. I terribly disliked it for a really long time. So people would never think this. I was kind of like never think it was a see me the nails. I was kind of a tomboy, and so that meant I had to wear a dress and heels. It was just so it was like a lot, then. But what I didn't realize all the beauty that comes from it, right? So I use Leandria. She could sing for hours, and people are like, "How she grew up singing quartet?" So
Mhm.
for you, two questions of that: Who is your favorite quartet or quartet singer, and what did you learn from that you use today?
I have two favorites. This is probably cheating because I am saying two. Harvey with the Ken Spirituals
Yeah,
and Lee Williams.
really,
Yes. What I loved about Harvey was so charismatic,
very.
so charismatic. And I used to love when he would just say, I don't mean to be nosy. I used to love when he would say that. But that was actually my first song. My first song that I ever sang that my dad ever taught me was Mississippi Poor Boy. That was my first
Really?
song. Yes. So Harvey and definitely Lee Williams. When it comes to quartet, those are my two favorites. Lee,
Really?
smooth, tone, could just stand
Yeah,
there and
yeah.
just sing. And yeah, so those are my two favorites.
So what did you pull from that you use today?
Harvey just being me on stage. Like sometimes it is a big country, but I just love feeling like I'm just in an audience full of my family. So definitely
Mm.
just being charismatic and just being transparent with my storytelling and with my song choices. And with Lee, also having those moments where you can really just, you ain't gotta do a lot. You can just stand there and sing
Stand
and
there
let
and
your tone do the work.
let your time do the work. I agree with that.
Let it do the work.
I grew up loving. I feel like Joe Lagon was just. I just love him. When he passed, my heart was so broken. I
My
just
daddy would
love
be
him.
losing it right now with what you saying that name.
I used to tell you my favorite song is "I've Been in the Stone Too Long." Woo! Girl, I mean, like tore up,
Yes.
and that thing he has, that like almost, this sounds kind of weird, but you'll understand, like this like dusty, raspy thing he got going on,
Yes.
and how he
It's people don't understand. Like Quartet. It's and been singing like that for years.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
Years. Like before any, well not any, but before Tank.
oh yeah.
What's his name on Heavenly Choir? He was on that song. The way he finessed that song vocally,
Mhm.
they've been doing it. They've been doing
Yeah,
it.
what do they call it? Crooning.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
like they've been doing this for years and decades, right? So of course I grew up like you. I grew up listening to the Mighty Clouds, the
yeah.
Williams brothers. I always say I love Tutu. You know, y'all feel I love this lady. So Tutu and the Truthettes. You know, I just grew up listening to this whole body of things, and so then you come into the Hezekiah Walkers and James Hall, so it's just all this body of music today. So if you could sing with anybody in the world, uh, uh, um, past or alive,
Mm.
who would it be, and what would the song be?
It would be, I'm gonna be fair, I'm only doing. It would be Al Green. If I could sing any
Really?
song with anyone, it would be Al Green, and I would sing Simply Beautiful or Still in Let's Stay Together.
Why Simply Beautiful?
I it's just the way Al took his time with that song. It's how much you can color up that song and just how much space is in this song for you to do whatever you want to do with it. And also fun fact, when I was on the show, his MD reached out to me and was like, Al has been watching you on The Voice and he wants you to tell them to let you sing Simply Beautiful. And they wouldn't let me do it. But
Wow.
yes.
So
And
would
then
you
let's say the would I
go ahead?
remake it? Mm-hmm.
Oh, did I tell you business? Okay. So,
No. I would remake it. I think I would do it two ways though. I would do it the regular way, and then I would kind of want to add like a little, like pick it up a little bit, give it a little, almost like a PJ Morton type feel a little bit,
mm-hmm.
and kind of do it like they're like, let's say PJ and Leela James, like something like
Mm-hmm.
that. I would want to do
Yeah, I
that.
feel like people sleep on her.
For sure.
She's a bad girl.
Yeah, her, she's on tour right now.
Oh, this is correct.
Hmm. Yeah, she's on tour. And then the second one would be Let's Stay Together. I close all my shows. Any set I do, I close it with Let's Stay Together. And I
Really?
do this little tag at the end where like I let the audience sing it back to me. And it's just always so magical. So I would really want to do that with Al. So, you know, he could see what I did with this song.
So, Mr. Al Green, if you're, I know I have a McDonald's mic, but Mr. Al Green, if you're out here watching, listen, you never know. I just saw this clip today where a lady, short version is a lady went to go eat somewhere, Deion Cole was standing outside. He couldn't get in. She said, "You can come in on me." She ended up sitting there with the people. She missed. She was supposed to go see Cedric the Entertainer. She missed the show. He was in her comments like, "You want to come? You should. I'm glad you went with him. That was cool. You want to come to our show? I can have you." So I'm just saying, you never know.
That's true.
I think if he was watching you like that, and I think sometimes, I think legends want to feel safe with passing it on.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they don't pass it on, because they don't feel. This is my truth. I think sometimes I was sharing with a client today, because I also do graphics, right? So I do music graphics, and it was like, Yolanda, I just can't let go. I said, you gotta let go. You can't do all these $1 million rooms if you're still in the $50 room. That doesn't make sense. So I think, so me personally, I just think sometimes artists would let go if they felt safe to let go. And not that he has to let go, but kind of like, okay, I can pass this torch over here. So yeah, I hope he hears you in that, because I think that you're a safe place to land.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Like there are people, when they sing, you believe them. There's a big very, very. So I know you don't know me on this side, right? Or maybe know me much at all. I've been singing all my life. And I believe when you're in a room, I always tell people, I'm not a Christian contemporary girl. It's no shade. I'm just not, that's not the girl I am. I'm a hard musical execution kind of girl, right? I love Hezekiah Walker, but I always say I love Shirley Caesar just as much as I love Kirk Franklin. Right? I love both worlds. I love Commission, and I love whoever's on the other side of that, right? So I love all these worlds. But there is a huge difference when I love Jodeci, real loud and proud. I love SWV. And I always say this, I believe Casey. Whatever he's singing, I believe him. I just think there's a difference when it comes from a certain kind of place. And so even though the time I've heard you, this is just the truth, I believe you. I believe your story. And I think sometimes today, older artists are like, no, I don't. It could be dozens of reasons, but I think sometimes it's just not believable. So I believe your story. I think your story is awesome. Is there anything you'd like to share or tell us about that you have going on, or how people? Well, first, is there anything you'd like to share about what you have going on or coming up or anything like that?
So yeah, like I said, I am working on new music, and we just opened up for booking inquiries. So book Kim Cruz. And I'm always excited to meet and sing with the people who have supported me thus far. To anyone who's watching right now, thank you so much for the love and support. And yeah, just make sure you stay connected with me on social media platforms. Everything is Kim Cruz or Kim Cruz Official.
This is cool. What is, so everybody can connect with you there. What is one thing you think it's important for people to know about you?
I think it's important for people to know that what you see is like a product of somebody who truly never gave up. Even when I literally almost lost my voice, still never gave up. Um, yeah, so I want people to look at me and say that if that country girl with a gap in her mouth, dark skin, plus size girl can do all of these things, who's to say I can't too?
This is good. What would you tell your
Yeah.
16-year-old self?
You are
Wrong
beautiful.
number.
Just
What would you tell your 12-year-old self?
I would tell my 12-year-old self that the same thing I would tell her, that number one, you are beautiful. And number two, follow your dreams. And I don't even mean to kind of stray away from that. But one thing that's really in my heart to do is come up with some type of program that supports children who have a gift and a love for the arts.
Mm-hmm.
And they are in these smaller cities where their parents don't know what to do. What do I do if my child says, I want to be a singer? What do I do if my child picks up a violin and says, I want to learn how to play that? So that's really, really, really on my heart. I want to start some type of organization that is geared towards supporting these children and these parents, and helping them cultivate their children's interest and gift for the arts. So yeah, I would tell my 12-year-old self, you are beautiful, and what you are dreaming of is attainable. Like, you can have it.
Wow, I think you should do that. So again, I encourage you. I think I watch Steve Harvey probably almost every day, mostly because I enjoy his story about how he came from nothing, and he was living in his car, and he was, as he got older and he was walking into being an entertainment, how he used to fish at a pond for food every day. I just think it's one of the most, like, how did this guy end up doing that and becoming one of the biggest names that we know in entertainment? You cannot even turn your TV on and not see the guy, right? So he always talks about what we grew up in church knowing, right? Write the vision and make it plain. But I think sometimes we are afraid to write it down. Over the weekend, one of my friends called me. She said, "Hi, Yolanda." I said, "Oh my God, hi." She said, "What do you want?" Huh? What do you mean? She said, "What do you want out of life today?" I was so thrown. She said, "Tell me everything you want." And so I just I just started going down the list. She said, "You need to write it all down, all of it. Don't leave nothing out." And so I just want to encourage you to do the same. I go back to Steve Harvey, and I always hear him say, God gave you these ideas, these visions, these dreams for a reason. He was a kid, and he wrote on a piece of paper, "I want to be on television." And his teacher told him, "Do you know anybody that looks like you that's on television?" And he went home, and his mother said, "Why'd you write that down?" He said, "Because she asked what I want to be when I grow up." So she said, "Write something else." His father came home, and his father went in his room. He's like, tell your mom I'm beating you. But no, his father told him, if that's what you want to do, keep your piece of paper, write something else down for them, put this piece of paper under your pillow. And here he is today. So I want to encourage you in that. I think sometimes as artists, we define ourselves in one space. Imagine how beautiful it would be for a little girl who looks like you, looks like me, who's not a size 5. Praise him. They're not that. And they're not going to be that, right? And you can get better. You can take care of yourself, which I wholeheartedly encourage. You can live a long time, but that's not how she's made. And my mom said, "I always knew you were going to be something because you would draw on the wall." All kids draw on the wall. That's not special. She said, "But you drew on the wall differently." She never told me that till 2 years ago. So I'm saying, you write it down, man. If that's what you want, I believe it can happen. If that's what you believe, and I'm saying, I believe that. So we in the show that I'm telling you, I believe that, because children who are creative need spaces to be safe to become. And a lot of times growing up in church, as much as I love it, sometimes people don't know what to do with that. They don't know what to do when you're multi-gifted. So how are you able to hear your part and mine at the same time? How are you able to hear what's not even there? How does that happen? How do you teach that? How do you help a kid not feel like they're strange? I know people who they sing and they see color, right? So it's like all of these gifts. How do you help somebody craft that? Yeah, write it down, man.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised there are over 8 billion people in the world. And you'd be surprised there's someone in the world who wants to fund your dream.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You can go all the way on The Voice, and you can make it all the way to the top and not lose and be okay with that, and not win and be okay with that. Then surely, okay, I'm stepping into somewhere else, but surely you can open up a wave, write these things down, and create opportunity for kids in a little bitty town that people not know about. But the little girl can sing all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you can be $1 billion woman and sing whenever you want to. at your choice. So this has been amazing. Kim Cruz, you are incredible. Thank you for the
Thank you.
opportunity to have conversation with you. Seriously.
Thank you for having me. I really
Oh yeah,
appreciate
and
it.
you can come back anytime
I
you want.
really,
Yeah.
okay.
Everybody's not. This is my truth. I understand that the world we're in is evolving every day, right? Like I said, somebody can go put in a prompt and all of a sudden they're a star. And so this work that you're doing is different kind of work. It's soul work. It's passion work. And sometimes, like you say, you get paid a little bit of soda can money and then trying to figure it out. So it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Shout out to Gabe, who looks out for everybody.
Yes.
Shout out to Gabe, who looks out for everybody. So thank you, Gabe, for this connection. Again, tell people again how they can connect to you and why they should.
Okay. So you can follow me on all social media platforms at Kim Cruz or Kim Cruz Official. That's CRUSE. And the reason why y'all should follow me is because why not? No, just joking. But the reason why you should follow me is because I'm out here winging it, just like most of us in life. And what I'm grateful for is a lot in all of my winging. It has landed me somewhere.
Yes,
And so
ma'am.
if it can do it for me, it can do it for you too. So, follow me for just inspiration
Are you for
to see
inspiration?
that
Yes,
it can be done.
yeah. Amazing singer who sings like this for real. That was not auto tune. We did not press any buttons. That is really her singing for real. And amen. So thank you for hanging out with us tonight. It was such an honor and privilege. I had so much fun talking to you. And whenever you want to come back, I'm more than sure Freedom Radio will love you back anytime you want. So when you drop your new album, you drop your new EP or EPs, let us know and we'll feature you or whatever you need. You have our support.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate it. I really do appreciate you opening up your platform to me. And I really appreciated this conversation too. Because this was a conversation.
Yeah, we have a conversation over here, girl.
I
So thank you
love
so
that.
much. We really appreciate you for hanging out with us, and we hope you have a good night.
All right, you too.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye. All right, y'all. So that was this Music Monday for tonight. I really enjoyed the conversation with Miss NRICH and Miss Kim Cruz. So if you're interested in booking NRICH, you can follow her at N as in Nancy, RICH, Rich. Hip hop, female hip hop artist, female Christian hip hop artist. Also, if you're interested in booking Miss Kim Cruz, you can book her at Book Kim Cruz, CRUSE at Gmail, or you can follow her on all social media platforms at Kim Cruz. I think these are two amazing women that you should be connected to and follow. Like she said, we have a lot of people who you can't necessarily, the AI music is what it is. And I'm not saying it's not great. It's just those people are not touchable. These artists are touchable, they're tangible, and you can meet them, and you can greet them, and you can be connected to them. Music does something that most of the time, sometimes we're not able to do ourselves. It reaches a place, like the heart reaches the heart, and it reaches a place a lot of times deep down that sometimes seriously sometimes we don't have the words, but the song can reach deep down and get you in a way that you didn't think you needed to be reached. So I hope you guys have a good night again. If you're free, first you can check out Tank, the R&B artist, tomorrow. He's going to be at New Birth. You can watch it live online at New Birth. They're all on YouTube, Facebook, all those spaces at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Second, you can come hang out with Freedom Radio Shop Talk. We're on every Wednesday at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think it's like 10 a.m. Pacific Time. So come hang out with us where nothing and no one is off the table. We have a lot to talk about this week. I hope you have a great Easter weekend. Hope you get some rest. Thank you so much again, Gabe, everybody that hang on out with us. Listen, so if you're interested in sharing your music, talking about your product, let's talk about it right here on Freedom Radio, all right? Hope you guys have a great night. Take care.